Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Indiana Jones 2, The Adventure Continues. Let's continue. 3.4% done. I'm surprised the number is that small. Get a little animation here when you load, which is kind of cool. See, this really does feel like the beginning of some idea of LEGO Dimensions. They need to do a little bit more work on it, definitely, but just the idea of, oh, one box is going to be its own separate thing and the next thing is going to be its own separate thing. It also kind of screams out DLC, but fortunately I don't believe that was really part of it. Let's begin the story here. And let's hop to it. So we are continuing down the path of the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And we ended the box one with this weird boss fight that didn't happen in the movie. And here we have Indy and Mutt on the train, and I believe they're going down to South America somewhere. And boy, let me just double check all the... We don't have any extras unlocked, and let me just check all the video settings. Interesting, the audio volume changed. It was a slider and now it's back to 5 of 10. Yeah, everything here is the same. I spent a large amount of time last night testing out many different things. So this plane just kind of glitched itself. So I was overclocking my CPU, overclocking my GPU, and increasing the cooling, doing everything possible, just ranking it up to as fast as it could go before my computer just exploded and crashed as far as being too much. And then I ran benchmarks, and I'm using a benchmark program called Heaven, and at the exact same 4 places in the benchmark, no matter what I did, how I overclocked it, there was always this slight drop in frame rate. All of the instances seemed to be when textures were getting loaded. I'm half thinking that there might be something individually wrong with my GPU, or this might simply be a case of the cheap memory that they put into the 970 GTX, which led to the lawsuit where there's only 3.5 gigabytes of really fast memory and then 500 megabytes of really slow memory. Regardless of any of that, though, even at the highest overclocking, it didn't fix anything. Trying to overclock the processor in the video card and the speed of the memory. It did make slight improvements, but nowhere close to a fix. And it never lagged, even on this program that's designed to make your computer lock up and lag, anywhere as often or as long as the LEGO games do. So it really is just a poor PC port. There's no fixing it. Now I might come back and have to apologize at some point, and when I buy my next video card, but I really can't. As much as I would like to buy a Titan X Pascal, I can't afford the $1,500 that would be, particularly when there's a decent chance that that's not even going to change anything, or only slightly change things. In most usage, while I was testing my video card, even at its default, it was running 1080p and making well over 100 frames per second, which we're only recording at 60 frames per second. That's all that YouTube would even allow you to upload. So sure, if I was trying to do 120 frames per second, I would need a different service than YouTube to upload videos to. I would need a new video card. I would need a new monitor, because none of those things are compatible. This is weird. I'm looking for this level and I can't find it. Let's see, like if I do this, he's not gonna let me through. At least he didn't throw an explosive at me. Interesting. We have these little pieces sitting around here. Even at the maximum overclocking, just for fun, I'll say the game, my GPU managed to get up to, I think, nearly 400 frames per second at points. However, still, there were certain points when it would drop down to 30 frames per second. I wonder if this is going to be a really short level, since they threw me in the open world and she gave me no direction. She's got a noisemaker that she's using to scare the loonies, I suppose. I think a Mexican, well, not Mexican, that's the wrong phrase. I think a Central American mental hospital, depending on the country, would be only slightly better than a Central American prison. Ooh, this is interesting. I was thinking I would whip the middle of the fan, and it didn't do that. Instead, it whipped the edge of the fan. That's an interesting way for the game to play. And here's like a wheelchair that we build and break. And at the end of the day of overclocking all the GPU, all the CPU, it didn't do anything. It just ran up the fan and made more noise. So I put everything back to default because I want to show a default experience with a game, so I usually won't turn up the graphics to something crazy in a game. And I don't want to overclock my PC, because what good does it really do if I tell somebody, well, if you spend $5,000 on this PC, the game will look great, but for all those people who only spend $1,000 on a gaming PC, oh well, you're out of luck. You should have spent another $4,000. Alright, so this is going to require cooperation. That's interesting. And here we are, we have the lag. So it just barely, by like 1 frame, it feels like is making right under his hat. So there's almost certainly some character whose hat is taller that would clip into. Let's see, all of these crazy people are gonna get let loose almost certainly, and we're gonna have to get the key. So the Crystal Skull has this weird thing where it drives people who look into its eyes crazy, which compared to like the Holy Grail, like there's a lot less to understand in any of the other movies. Oh, he just puts it down. Do I have to trick him or target something or what? I see. So I've got to Indy whip it when it comes back here, and so we have to just watch him drop the key. Wow. Literally have nothing I can do right now. Nothing at all. I'm just watching the guy play with the key until he drops it. And either he's going to drop it in a few seconds, or you have to walk further away to trigger it. His actions don't really imply anything like that. So man, you've got to be really far away from it. It has to be off the screen. That's just bad gameplay design. Because the game had me sitting there thinking something was going to happen when it wasn't. They were fighting rats. Yeah, but the Ark of the Covenant, the thing the Ark of the Covenant does at the end of the Raiders of the Lost Ark is a big surprise twist. It's supposed to 100% not be seen as that's what was going to happen. This is interesting. As you're jumping on the bed, you're knocking pieces out. The Temple of Doom, these special stones, you kind of know what they do, but there is this weird, it is an incredibly weird event that happens at the end, I suppose, because Indiana Jones just starts saying you betrayed Shiva, and the stones start glowing for no reason. And then the Holy Grail probably makes the most amount of sense because although it still doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, if you are deeply devoutly religious, there is also something slightly insulting in the way the Holy Grail is depicted, because it starts to imply that Jesus Christ, and if you're a Christian, it takes away from the divinity of Jesus Christ and says maybe Jesus was just a man drinking from this grail, and that's why he was able to resurrect and from being crucified. And see, that's not something you really want to happen. They mostly dance around that in the movie, but it's similar to what the Shroud of Turin, which has been proven to be not of any time of Jesus, some thought or implication that everything Jesus touches becomes magical is just not the case. It's not even following the general Old Testaments of things. Because there were certainly other artifacts like the Ten Commandments. Ten Commandments were originally, the first set of the Ten Commandments were originally carved by God, and then the second set were because Abraham, I believe? No, Moses. Yeah, Moses. Yeah. Because Moses threw down and broke the original set because he saw the other Israelites had lost faith and built a golden calf to worship. I believe it was a golden calf. He threw down the original set of the Ten Commandments, and God then made him carve the second set, which, funnily enough, the second 10 commandments are not the same commandments as the first 10 commandments. There's slight differences. Uh, so we found the shovel, that's nice. But I guess you really don't have a movie in The Last Crusade if you're just literally looking for the Cup of Christ and it has no magical powers, because then the Nazis have no reason why they really want the Cup of Christ other than as a item to possibly legitimize their rule, like in some large imperialism attempt. We've got a big chunk of spiders that are blocking off an area. I don't know what you would do there. Let's see, I'm looking around here as we're running around. Let's see how. And I didn't set up my clock right, so I don't know how long I've been playing. There we go. 16 minutes. Yeah, not a long time. Here we have one of these sculptures carved in the mountainsides, which I don't believe we ever figured out how the ancient civilizations did that, because they're like only visible, a lot of the things, from the perspective of being high in the air, much higher than you would expect. It would have been possible for the people that carved those things. Am I supposed to hit this frog, or am I hitting this frog, or am I playing the leapfrog? Either there's nothing to do with that frog at all, or there's something I don't realize, or some ability. I'm also noticing these bricks that are silver are not breakable. I did dust my PC, and finally, nearly 6 months to almost a year after no, it's only been about 6 months. After I needed to, I upgraded my hard drive, so I have more hard drive space. Yeah, my previous issue with my PC before I started having issues with games lagging, which I'm still blaming the games for, really, was I would record a game that was very high quality, and each video would be like 20 gigabytes for an hour footage, and my 256 gigabyte hard drive only had 120 gigabytes free for recording. So 6 hours and the whole hard drive is full, and when the hard drive is full I don't recognize it, and the games and the footage gets lost, and that's no fun. It's really potentially a killer if you play a game that auto saves and you have no way to get back to the backup. This area is blocked off too. It seems like we're gonna need a vehicle. I'm still not sure what to do as far as trying to get all the collectibles and things. Looks like there's another area over here that will reach this point. The next level we actually play it's kind of a little fight sequence that breaks the chase sequence of the movies a little bit. See, this is interesting. It didn't put the whole fence down, it just put it low enough to jump over. I think that's not obvious enough for a kid's game, honestly. It's a cool idea and all, but you just gotta be more obvious and more blatant. See, that's the level we were in, and there's bonus instances, and I'm not sure there aren't 2 or 3 bonus instances of these levels, because there's 15 things, but obviously dig all that up. We're gonna have to do some more digging in the next recording too. And I don't want to start the next level by digging, so I shouldn't have dug the first time. But yes, I took apart my PC and dusted it. Well, I took the case, opened the case and dusted it, so that might improve some quality, but nothing's really going to stop the lags completely. Although we've gone 20 minutes here and not seen any lags and done that one level. We've also made a decent amount of progress already. Yeah, I didn't get True Adventurer on that level. That kind of sucks. So I will have to go back from the main menu, I guess, to redo all of those. We didn't also unlock any more characters, and I don't think we are going to see a lot of characters unlocked. We have 1 of the 10 blue ones in this box, 4 of the 10 green ones already, 6 of the 10 red ones, 0 of the 10 golden golden chest things. So I kind of wish we had a percentage marker show up somewhere on this menu, but the menu's showing us so much other things. It wouldn't be hard though. They could have just put the percentage right below the coin, the stud count. Yeah. But then would that be the percentage of the game, or the percentage complete of the entire game, or the percentage complete of the box? Because I'm 23% done with the first box, but only 3% done with the game. Yeah, that would be an issue too. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.